Alright, so I am back, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy Jhiaxus figure. And yeah, here he is in his jet mode. Interesting looking jet. It's a Cybertronian jet, so it's kind of like, you know, most of you guys that watch my channel know how I feel about that. It's just like, you know, you can just make anything look like anything and call it a Cybertronian mode. You can just block with a cannon. Oh, it's a Cybertronian tank. A race car with wings. Oh, it's a Cybertronian race car. You know, you can do all sorts of things with that. But for what it is, it looks fine. Not much to write home about. So, he does come with these two blasters. He's got this little silver one, which actually, it's actually a pretty nice little gun. It's pretty thin, clear plastic. They painted the silver on. It's got a 5mm port and then 5mm plug here and here. So you can plug it in anywhere. There's a 5mm plug. So there, or you can plug it in that way. Quite a few little options with that. Go here. Yeah, so can we go on this one? Yep. So options there. And then he also comes with this one. He's got the port here, plug here, here, and a port back here. So like you could do that if you wanted, and then anywhere those plugs will fit. You can. You know, I mean, you get creative, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Now, I will say he does have a Decepticon logo here, the G2 Decepticon logo, which is, comic book-wise, I would call that inaccurate, because he was a Cybertronian, which was the third race of Transformers. Even though Autobots and Decepticons were Cybertronian too, he's part of a third faction that splintered off before, or when the war first started, and they started, he just kind of stayed separate and then joined in, or did his own little battle thing during G2. So, but, you know, hey, whatever. It is what it is. Alright, so let's get him transformed. So, first we want to take the wings and pull them up here like this. Then we will take the legs here, and they kind of come out like this. And then from there, you can also pull the arms up. So you extend the legs out, untap it there, straighten that out, straighten the foot out. This will come down, and it kind of sits like that. I kind of wish there was like a place for this to plug into for robot mode, just to kind of give it a little bit more security. Then you take this, and this kind of flips in there, and that comes into the back there like that. But it does hold pretty well. You just can't overly manipulate it. You know, like I said, I do wish it would lock into place, but you know, it is what it is. This comes out like that. Extend it out. Just like that. Rotate the waist around, keeping these pieces out to the side. Then we can take these fold up, and then you can accordion them up like this. Open up the wrist panels, flip out the hand, close that up. Open up this one. Alright, and then we take the chest piece here. This will fold around, And this comes out to the back, so you fold this little shoulder piece up here like this, and then this will fold down. That clips in. Flip the head up. And then there's a little tab here that'll plug into this little slot right above where the nose cone sits. So just line that up and like that. Fold this up. Wings come down. Up. And then you fold those in. And there you have Jhiaxus in his robot mode. And what can I say? I think it's I think it's great. To be honest with you guys, for a number of reasons. Let me get Starscream here. So here he is with a modern day Seeker. So he's a good bit taller than Starscream there. It's like a full head taller. Which, you know, they're the same size class. So it's kind of nice that, you know, one of the things that's been good about this line is the fact that they're like, you know, we're going to make sure all these figures scale appropriately with where they're supposed to go. Because he should be like in line with Prime and Megatron because he's one of the leaders. Now I believe this comes off. Yeah. So you got this port there, and then I believe you can take this, like plug it on here to give him, yeah, like a scope. If you want to do it that way. Yeah, whatever. But then you have like this big open thing here, which, I mean, I don't know what you'd want to do with that without this. So I kind of just leave it the way it is. So posability wise, his head is on a ball peg. So you'd left and right, side to side, a little up, a little down. It's molded red plastic, but he's got some good green eyes in there, yellow face, and the silver tubing. All that looks good. Shoulders have a hinge up, and then there's a swivel in here, so you get all the way around. Wings get in the way if you're, you know, not careful. Bicep swivel, bends at the elbow, gets you a pretty good range there. Wrist swivels, fingers do open and close. Waist swivels, legs up to here, back to there, so not very far back, and then all the way out to the side. Thigh swivel, really deep bend at the knee, foot rockers, and tilts. And then, of course, he can hold his weapons. So, no matter which ones you want. If you want one or both, or you know, however you want. I'm probably going to give this gun to somebody else because, you know, some people don't have good guns. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, so okay, so he's not a perfect figure, you know, like the legs need to lock in a little bit better. Vehicle mode is kind of meh. This, there's that, there's, you know, he could use a little bit, you know, paint in all that white, because it gets kind of bland there. There's gripes about the figure. For score, though, I am going to give him a 10. Not necessarily because of just how this figure is, but what this figure kind of represents. And this is, you know, very biased to me. Now, Jhiaxus is not one of my favorite characters. There's no questions about that. I thought he was an interesting character, but that was about as far as I went with it. What this is, though, you know, we've got this figure. it's going to be really hard for them to repaint or retool this into something else. As far as I can tell, he's not a retool of anybody. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen anything that looks like a retool. I looked him up on TF Wiki too, and I didn't see anything. So here Hasbro is taking a chance on such an obscure character and giving him an all-new mold for the first time ever. This is the third Jhiaxus we've gotten. The first one was a repaint of the Beast Machines Deluxe Jetstorm, and the second one was a repaint and slight retool of the Deluxe Generations Armada Starscream. So this is the first Jhiaxus that we've gotten. And like, that's a full mold. And look at him. Like, he doesn't have really any hollow bits to him either. He's a pretty solid figure. I was also looking at him because I thought, oh, maybe I'll take him apart and give him like a really nice paint job. But they used pins in every single location. There's not a screw on this guy. This guy's not coming apart. But then they did it in a way where everything's nice and tight. There's really no looseness to the joints. I mean, maybe these forearm connector, and now they're solid. Maybe I was going to say maybe these forearm panels could clip in a little bit better, and these guys could have clipped in a little bit better. But I don't know. I just think that for what he is, and as I'm saying, things are tight and his arm's doing this thing. For what he is, they took a risk. They took a big risk on this guy. I don't know if I would have. And this is something that definitely third party for their an MP line would never do. Which is, it just kind of helps me justify just that much more my decision to go back to the main line, because I get to have obscure characters like this. The only company out there, third party for MP scale, that are taking a risk and new things is Fans Hobby, and they're not doing the most risky characters. I mean, they did Monster Bots and they did the Headmaster Juniors, but they're not doing some sort of obscure G2 character that nobody really cared about. And even if they did, they're the only company that has the balls to do something like that. Everyone else, even MMC, X-Transbots, if they could get a repaint or a retool out of something to repurpose it as something else, sure. But for the most part, no. They ain't going near something like this. It's just crazy to think, that here we have something like this, and it's Hasbro. Regular mainline Hasbro that's taking the chance on something so obscure. And I'll be honest, I wasn't going to pick him up. I wasn't. The only reason why I picked him up was because there's a pile of them at my local Walmart, and I'm like, I'll do my part and at least buy one to kind of try and clear the stock out. Didn't work because I think there's a new one sitting there. They must have a pile in the back. But if you guys are mainline collectors and you haven't picked this guy up yet, I'm going to recommend picking him up for two reasons. One, he's actually a fun figure. I've flipped him around a few times. I've been having a good time with him. So one, he's a good figure. He's fun. Transformation's easy, but it's also got a little bit of some little twists and turns there. It's like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. The robot mode solid. He looks great. So it's a fun figure. Another thing, to help clear out the Walmart shelves, get this guy off the shelves so that we can get the next line. And then 3, show Hasbro that we do care and we will buy these things. we will buy these obscure characters because we want more. And I would love to have more of these guys. Things like this showing up all the time. You could also pull these wings out if you want to have them have a little bit more shelf presence. But I just don't think that's the way he looked. It's been a while. But yeah, anyway, I do recommend him. I give him a 10, like I said, just because of all those little things. Taking out all that, I'd still probably give him an 8 out of 10. He's a pretty good figure. So let's go final score 9 out of 10. There we go. Everyone's happy, right? But yeah, I want to see more things like this. Please give me more. For $35, this is great. I'm really happy with this purchase. He's probably, of the mainline figures that I've picked up, he's probably like my second or third favorite figure so far. Of the mainline. If I put Star Saber and Leo Saber in there, it's going to get a lower. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do recommend him.